Hello YouTube, this is the first video of this channel. Yep, as you can read by the title, it is, I can't even remember what the subject of the video is. Never mind, let's just get straight to it. Yeah, phone and CPU manufacturers. Right, so I'll be discussing the main three: Qualcomm, MediaTek and Samsung with their Exynos series. And yeah, the Snapdragon. I should probably use the laser pointer. Yeah, the Snapdragon series and then the MediaTek. I will be covering all MediaTek CPUs, not just the Helios, but I'll include the Helios too. Alright, yep, just a bit of background. They're Qualcomm CPUs, they come in 4 different tiers, series, whatever. 200, 400, 600 and 800 with, yeah, I'll just explain it. Here, as you can read on the screen. 200 series of the basic tier, they have support for, I think, up to 720p screens, or 1024x768, but that's about the same. They are designed to integrate LTE into cheaper phones, which I saw on their website with their later things, because of their modems, their X9 LTEs or whatever, X8 I mean. The 400 series are the next tier up with full HD support. They've got good image signal processors, DSPs, whatever. They're good and often able to run games, but not at the highest settings. And these CPUs are powerful enough for everyday tasks, all but the most powerful user. 600 series are the mid-range market, with 2 steps in the series. The 6.2 series, 625, 66 or whatever, and 652, 653 are different. The 625, 626 has a high efficiency target because they've got 8 efficient cores. 652 is an older, well, it's powerful, but it's on the 28 nanometer process, so it is older and it's not that efficient and all that. Yeah, it's trailing behind the 800 series, with the 650 series coming out around the 820. The 800 series are the high-end flagship market. This is for the highest performance phones, with the latest offering being the 800 Snapdragon 835, employed in the S8 at the moment. Really high performance focus, and yes, of course, it can be less efficient. 600 series. Right, here's some 200 series background information. There's an LTE modem on the 210 and 212. No 64-bit support due to the older ARM CPU designs. I think they're Cortex A7s. Yep. Sorry, I skipped that animation. There's your lovely smooth one. Right. So, see here we have LTE categories here. I don't quite know what these are. They might be HSDPA or whatever, 3G plus, or what some people call 3.5G. Alright, let's move on to the 400 series. Budget market. 41X and 42X quad-core designs with 4 Cortex A53s, which means they're all 64-bit CPU designs. The 400 has dual-core design with the older Cortex A7s. So if you think of it as like a higher-end 212, Snapdragon 212 with full HD support. Right, here are the 400 series. There's 9 of them. Yep, and this one is Bluetooth Low Energy support, 410E. Now you see that here these are quite low frequency, 1.4 gigahertz topping out at. The 400 here has either Qualcomm, whatever you want to, however you want to say it, 300 series CPU or 4 A7s. Yeah, it can be dual core or quad core. Yeah. With 1.7 GHz being the dual core setup and 1.6 GHz being the quad core A7s. So yeah, it's just a high-end 212. Right, let's move on to the 600 series, and I've forgotten to animate this slide, I think. 2 different CPUs, 2 different use cases. Sort of. 625 is an octa-core CPU at 2 GHz. All the cores are the new A53 design that I was on about before. Single core performance is lacking because it doesn't have any big dot little technology. They're all just these power efficient A53s, and for this particular chip, the single core performance is around about an Apple A7, so an iPhone 5S, if that helps. It's equipped with an Adreno 506, which is not too bad. It has support for up to 1920 by 1200 displays. 652 is another octa-core CPU, this time with powerful Cortex A72s and A53s for efficiency. This layer is called a big little layout, clocked up to 1.8 GHz. It is equipped with an Adreno 510 and can support screens up to 2560 by 1600. This is the trailing flagship. 626 and 653 are the same, but with slightly boosted clock speed and a new 10nm process. Here's the examples. I've put these things on here to tell you. I'll let you pause here if you want to read up about this. But I'll explain through. Right, so the 600E seems to be just an underclocked 600. I don't quite know. Yeah, low energy as well. I believe low energy. These ones are old designs, at 28nm. All these ones. The only difference. Yeah, this one's got an old LTE modem, Snapdragon X5 here, whereas this one's got an X8. That's more powerful. Right, this is a 625 I have as in my phone. Nice and powerful. 2 GHz 8X ARM A53s. Right, the 652. Yeah, this one is on the trail of being outdated. Not quite yet, but I was tempted to put an old banner on there, but there's no room. So yeah, it's 4 A72s and 4 A53s. It's got the old-fashioned X8 LTE modem, which is older than the 625 actually. The 625 and 626 have got the same LTE modems, and the 653 is a dramatic improvement over 652 in my opinion. So you look from 1.8 GHz to 1.95. That's a high performance CPU. The 800 series, and I've completely forgotten to animate these slides. Hopefully not all of them have. Right, yep, the 800 series. The 800 and 801 were competing with the Intel Atom Bay Trail series, Silvermont architecture, I mean. So yeah, that's about that. It's always been paired with latest Qualcomm technologies, and usually the most powerful GPUs. Well, always actually. 810 was famously known for overheating and throttling due to its old big cores. 4 A57s there were. There was an 808 that had 2 A57s, so that had less overheating. Some say it was rushed out to compete with Apple's A7 chip, which was also 64-bit. because this was the 808, I think, as well, also were both 64-bit chips, and Qualcomm wanted to release them so that they can compete with Apple. The 820 is still used in some flagships today. Well, yeah, it's still being built. It's a quad-core design built on the 14nm process, coupled with 530 Adreno. It was the most powerful chip. The 835 in the Yep, 835 in the SA is an octa-core design, similar to 810 with customized cores from Cortex designs. They're called the Cairo 280, although some say that it's just simply rebranded A73. Here's some examples of the 800 series. I have many banners on here for nanometers and all that. Right, so yeah, these two 64-bit. Yeah, let's see it for two A57s, four A57s. Yep, got that right. These ones, the 805. That is a different CPU design than the 400. So yeah, these were about the same. These two, this one's got 4.1 Bluetooth version though. Yeah, there's the 820 automotive processor. I'm not sure how that's different to the 820. They're all about the same, really. Yeah, the 821 is just an overclocked 820, hence the not so big model name change. The 835 I've explained before. Right. Capiche? Anyone? So that is how Qualcomm are making CPUs. Well, it's not how, but it's their current affairs. If you think that's pretty complicated, then let's take a trip down Samsung. Yeah. Slightly overdid that slide. Exynos background. Exynos is only for Samsung devices. It's their in-house design, usually featuring ARM Cortex cores, but some of the later flagships have their in-house custom CPU cores. I think they're called Mongoose series, yeah. They typically have high performance GPUs compared to Qualcomm, and in the Samsung Galaxy series, S series, Exynos are used in GSM areas, which is pretty much every country apart from the US, and Qualcomm are used in CDMA areas, typically due to their good modems. And so yeah, Wikipedia is your friend. Right, yeah, these are all 32-bit CPUs. Right, if you see ARM v7, that means 32-bit. See, look, we do have a bit of big little that are coming on here. And yeah, I think I did animate it. But ARM Mali GPUs have the amount of cores displayed at the end of the model name. So these, so like this one's got 4 cores, whereas this one's got 2. So yeah. Let's not jump ahead. Right, yeah, so just get the bit away. So yeah, the performance of GPUs is measured in G-flops. Higher it is, the better, really. And it's a gradual going up here. If you see dips like this is probably because this is a tablet tablet SoC, I should say. And then that one's the Yep. So this one is, I don't know, the tablet SoC, and this one is the phone's SoC. This one is, yeah, because this T720 is a relatively new design. It's on ancient. So look, 2015 is written on here. So yeah. Exynos 5 Octa does actually have a PowerVR SGX series, which is a bit different. And yeah, you can just see that it keeps going up higher. See, look, this has got 6 cores. Right, let's go on to the next one. 64-bit CPUs. Got these ones. These are significantly newer. The Exynos 9 Octa is to compete with the Snapdragon 835. Oh, well, it doesn't compete. They're just like to each other, I guess. Yeah, these ones, the A57 plus A53, they are similar to that. This design is similar to the 810 Snapdragon. This second 7420 is far more better on the cellular network, and also has DDR4 RAM and a better GPU. So it's pretty much better across the board. It is newer though. And then yeah, they just keep getting better processors. I don't quite see what happened here. 8 Octa. I think these are budget ones here. See, look, only got dual core thing. So this might be used on their maybe Galaxy A series. These ones though, the 8890 and 8895, they have high performance across the board and really high performance GPU. Like, look at this, 12 cores, 20 cores on the GPU. We've got LPDDR4X RAM, which is pretty astounding. Right, yeah, I know that. And now, our good old friend MediaTek. MediaTek background. MediaTek is a Chinese chip maker, I guess we know. They mainly cater for the budget market as the chip prices are below what Qualcomm offers. And this does spur some bad things, like some people will find a laggy experience or just a general poor experience with MediaTek because they bought their $50 tablet or whatever. This is not MediaTek's fault. The tablet maker decided to put in MediaTek's budget CPUs, and so you have budget performance, and that's that. Yeah, they usually focus on multi-threaded performance, with flagship Helio series having up to 10 cores. In the same price bracket, MediaTek can often beat Qualcomm. Yeah, and sometimes MediaTek CPUs lag behind Qualcomm's implementations. Say like DSPs, digital signal processors, are superior in Qualcomm's SoC than MediaTek, hence the lower price in MediaTek's. And there's also something about ROMs. I'm not quite sure though. I think that's true. Harder to make custom ROMs because, yeah, a lot of XDA developers be moaning about that. Right? Oh wow, it's animated. There, those are the old ones. See, look at this, 65 nanometer. Brings you back to the old Core 2 Duo days, yay! Right. This is 2009 to 2012. So, that's quite odd, no GPU. Ooh. Not quite something you see every day. Feature phone SoC, whatever. Yep, not all are 3G compatible though. But yeah. Moving on. 32-bit. Only a few. 76 series, 28 nanometers. Yeah, MediaTek, they do usually lag behind on their fabrication process because they are a budget company. Like you see, this is 2014 and it's still a 28 nanometer fabrication. Do some quad-core chips. All Cortex A7s at varying frequencies. I also did some octa-core CPUs, including a hexacore. I don't know why I put octa-core there. So they're all Cortex A7s. Although this one, these 6595 have A17 CPUs. And for these two, MediaTek changed from Mali to Power VR GPU setups. They've also got 4G support, which is nice. And it's 64-bit quad-core CPUs. Yep. Oh, why do you have to lag laser pointer? Oh well. Alright, yeah, you see these are all 28 nanometers. They're all also Cortex A53s. And similar GPUs. I was about to say they're all the same, but they're not. These ones are T860s and all that stuff. So yeah, these are all varying stuff. These are just quad-core CPUs, the ARM V8. Yeah, in version 8, not V8 and 8 cylinders or whatever. Yeah. What's this? Oh yeah, the octa-core deca-cores. You can see the massive focus on 10 cores. Yep, that's 8 cores, octa, and these are deca. Yep, just that nicely away. Oh, I do like PowerPoint animations. Right, moving on just quickly, we have big dot little sort of arrangement, 1 GHz little cluster and 1.5 GHz bigger cluster with the A53 design. Just decent GPU, memory LPDDR3 and LTE with voice over LTE support. That's 2016 released. This one about the same, similar, but they just got different clock speed and an older GPU. No voice over LTE. This one too has voice over LTE. With an overclocked, yeah, maybe overclocked version of that GPU. So you look at 650 MHz MP2 Mali T860. Oh, right, this one 1.5 GHz octa-core A53. Now, if you look here, these are exactly the same, these two. One's just slightly overclocked. Higher clock, not overclocked, because that's what a user does. Right, that's an odd Helio P10, so it's 2 GHz quad core, 1.2 GHz quad core A53s. Quite high megahertz GPU, nice performance. There's LTE data, but no voice over LTE. P15 is a slightly higher clocked on the big cluster. So you got 2.2 here, so yeah, that's higher clocked. And the Helio X10, 2 GHz octa-core A53. This is similar to a 625, but it has the older 28 nanometer process. So it's a bit like a overclocked 617 or 618 or something. LTE category 4. This is quite an old chip, look, 2014. And yeah, we've got the P20 here, which is one of those, what are they called again? Yeah, big dot little arrangements. We've got 16 nanometers here, which is fancy, I guess. We've got A53s, 2.3 GHz quad core A53 cluster, and a 1.6 GHz A53 cluster. Nice high GPU megahertz. See, look, that's the T860 and this T880. This is going to be quite quick. No voice over LTE. I don't know if any of them have. I don't know really, they probably do, but there's just software support. Oops. Yep, DDR4 support. This one's a higher clocked version, P25. Right, the P35. Ooh, this is interesting. Right. It's similar to the X30, sort of. So we've got 2.2 GHz dual core A73. That's a cutting edge design, the A73. 2 GHz A53, yes, we know that one quite well. And A35 cores. They are very efficient. So if MediaTek somehow gets quite a lot of threads on that A35 cluster, it's going to be a really efficient CPU. Not quite sure on the GPU though. I guess it can't be too bad. 32-bit short channel blah blah blah. 1866 MHz LPDDR4X. That moment when the desktop, your desktop has slower RAM than a Helio P35. Anyway, yes, never mind. Still got LTE support, obviously, all these ones do. Right, now we're going to the X20. Oh, yep. So we've got big, little A53s, and we've got A72s to pull through. T880, 4 cores, 780 MHz, which is nice. 800 MHz LPDDR3. I don't know what happened there. Oh yeah, this one's older. Yep. Same wireless radio support. X23s. Higher clocked on the A72s. This one is slightly higher clock, 20 MHz. That ain't gonna be any difference. I just realised that's an old design. This one. I don't know. It's gone from 20. That's almost a year old. Well, I never. Right, the X25. It's higher clock. Oh, overall, I think. Yep, just all overall higher clock. Even though that is a significantly older chip. Now to the X27. Right, this is an even higher clocked version on the 20nm process. Same GPU, 800 MHz RAM. So I'll read that as 600. That's all 800 MHz RAM. Q1 2017, and the Helio X30. I can't wait till this comes out. 10nm FinFET Plus. 2.5 GHz of A73 power, 2.2 A53, and a 1.9 GHz A35 for efficiency. And to top it all off, cherry on the cake, is a nice PowerVR Rogue XT series plus GPU of 800 MHz. That is going to be one hell of a chip. Right. But we do have tablets in the Android space too. Did I put phone manufacturers at the start of this slideshow? Did I really? Let's go back and find out. Oh well. Let's just include some tablet CPUs too. Let's get through here. There we go. That was a bit weird. It just like popped in and popped out. Right, so these ones here are 32-bit. Oh, not these ones, on V7s. All of varying GPU solutions and varying gigahertz. Oh, that's bad grammar. Varying clock speed. As you get higher clock speed, obviously performance goes up. These ones have 3G capability too. And this one's got Mali. Some of them have power VRs and all that. There's no real pattern to that, it's just a blob. Right. Yeah. So we go to the 64-bit. So we've got A732, which is 1.5 GHz, quad-core A53, with LTE support. Nice. All on 28nm process, I'm pretty sure. Yep, we've got the A752. 8752, 1.7 gigahertz octa-core A53 setup with a T760 at 700 megahertz with 2 dual core. It's got LTE support. We've got 2 versions of the MT8163. I've got the 1.3 gigahertz one. It's plenty powerful. 520 megahertz Mali T720, and this one's just slightly higher clock. Interestingly enough, it's also got FM radio. Nice to know. 8173, which is a quad-core solution. Yep. It's similar to the 8176. Now it's got 2 gigahertz A72s and a 1.6 gigahertz quad-core ARM Cortex A53 cluster for the lower bit. I've got a GX 6250 GPU, which I will admit though, this is implemented into the ZenPad 3 S10, and that is an underpowered GPU. Like, it's less than an iPad Air performance, and it's got the same screen resolution, so that's not very good. Right, yep, that tells you. 32-bit, 64-bit. So yeah, that about concludes it for this video. Oops. Like, comment, subscribe. Comment if you want me to, I don't know, include Intel CPUs or something. Comment your phone and I'll do a review of the CPU inside and how it all works and the performance compared to everything else. I'll also be doing the CPUs I know and other Android features like Race to Sleep and all that, the low-level kernel. So yeah, that'll be it for this video. Goodbye.